China, located in East Asia and stretching across over 3.7 million square miles, the People's Republic of China is one of the world's earliest civilizations. It supports a population over 1 billion, and it is governed by the Communist Party of China, which is centered in Beijing. China recognizes 4 official languages, including Mandarin and English. Beijing was an unlikely capital, situated at the periphery of ancient China. It could have remained an insignificant border town. However, the vision of a few extraordinary men saw its strategic value and built on its plans a grand capital city. Since then, it has staged some of the most significant episodes in Chinese and world history. During imperial times, Beijing remained untouched by foreign powers for almost 1,000 years. Now, please follow the students of St. John's University College of Professional Studies and the Institute of International Communication on their amazing journey throughout China.
Dude, this food is nothing like it is in Beijing.
Right? What are you talking about? It's best in New York.
Nah, man, Beijing food is a lot much better.
Wait, you mentioned Beijing? We have been there.
I was there in January.
I never know that. So what do we have there?
Oh, here, hold on. I'll show you. It's delicious.
Chinese food is an important part of Chinese culture, which includes food originating from the diverse region of China, as well as from Chinese people in other parts of the world. The preference for seasoning and cooking techniques of Chinese provinces depends on differences in historical background and ethnic groups. Geographic features, including mountains, rivers, forests, also have a strong effect on the local available ingredients. The color, smell, and taste are 3 traditional aspects to describe Chinese food, also the meaning, shape, and nutrition. Considering climates of China varies different areas from typical in the south to north.
I want to learn if I'm lower. The lower I am, the more humble I am.
The way you use topics in some old tradition, it represents your moral fiber style. So in the middle side, the cute fingers, the side, the cute side. One stable, one stable, and this one.
Oh, bring it.
Yeah, some people just to pick a beat to practice the scales.
就这样吗？
Yeah, it's omelette. Exactly. Yeah.
再来一个那个加糖的，然后不要青菜。
一共5个呗。
对，5个。
刚才不
So
加。
good.
我知道。
I don't know what else is gonna be. I don't wanna.
5元。
Why do you want that Western Italian?
那如果不加肉的是多少钱？3元。
Equally just 50 cents US
来，这
dollars.
个是加肠的。这4个是加肉的。
哪个好？
这4个是加肉的。
这个是加肠的。
这4个是加肉的。 这4个是加肠的。 这4个是加肠的。
这个是加肠的。
这4个是加肠的。 这4个是加肠的。 这4个是加肠的。
Here's some
Can I have one with chicken?
Oh, chicken?
Chicken? Do you have chicken? Or what do they serve?
Just the chicken and the sausage.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, chicken and sausage. But the sausage is by the pound.
By the pound.
Yeah. You feel good?
Are you not eating something?
In here? Yeah.
6个牛肉火烧60，
对对对
2个素的8块，
，2个素的，谁和谁是素的？
点错了吗？
那就1个素的。
一个素的。
对对对。哎，它也是素的韩椒。不，它是鸡蛋火烧。
它鸡蛋火烧1个绿茶。
这儿有小米粥豆浆，只有小米粥。
小米粥、豆浆、牛轧汤、牛肉汤。
给我来个豆浆吧。
豆浆没有盖儿啊？
豆浆。好。
你说什么？
没盖儿。
豆浆这杯子没有盖儿。
那算了，不要。
嗯哼。
不要照相啊！
啊，没事。
一个一个的放。
要分开来。
Anyway, I kind of little upset. We make it wait another half hour. What happened?
I'm so sorry, man. You know the NYC subway. It's like on the weekends, it's horrible. I would stop.
But you
like,
just told me you went to Beijing, right? The traffic is maybe the more worse.
like there is a lot of traffic. I can show you, but everything I feel like it does run smoother.
Ready? Is that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look.
What happened?
Dead end?
Yeah?
Okay.
Might as well just take it out. Yeah, daylight. So excited.
Scratch your soldier over. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is common clock tower. We will visit the other day.
This is the oldest street in Beijing.
One of the.
One of them.
Really?
Let me help you. Just, Thank you.
这个往那边走。哦，可以走。
Let's go. Let's go. Right.
Those police officers?
No, it's kind of like for the parking.
Parking ticket?
Yeah. No, not tickets. Just the when you park here, they charge the parking fee.
Oh.
Yeah.
不要差多了，它有的时候是不行。四张立马。
我买过了，这张。
现在有8张票了，还有4张票。
哦，买了。
天啊，这里面还有密码。这边是2级的，哦，什么大学3站。
People die from doing
See, we get on that the Communication University of China.
This year you are 25.
1993. It's not like this means gate. Like usually before 100 years ago, there's a wall circle the city. So this is like the used to be the wall. But now they destroy all the wall. They just leave the gate. Yeah. So now we can still see the gate, but not the wall. Yeah.
进来多少玩？看吃过不？
哎，师傅您好。
I pretty.
Does that sound?
Yeah. So what you're telling me is that you guys went to China just to find some place to eat local foods and get experience from the transportation system.
You think Professor Montiel is going to take us to China to just relax?
I mean, who knows? Maybe he does, right?
Maybe, but as graduate students of international communication, the main agenda was to focus on political economies, diplomacy, culture, and the shift from city to rural areas was honestly intriguing.
Sounds very interesting.
Yes, and being in Chinese institutions, being taught by Chinese professors was honestly a one-of-a-kind experience. The faculty at Sanya University were outstanding.
Cool. So let's take a look.
Let's do it.
Thank you very much for welcoming us. Thank you. Hello. Good morning. Happy New Year. Hello. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
There's the last line. So. There's the last line.
解密啊，一解密，那只要翻译过来啊，这个有没有咱们你们这个学科说的？
那最现实的，也就是说，能掌握这些最基本的现实问题的这些知识啊，就是包括像分析雾霾的成本啊，能把这些问题解决啊，这是你真正的希望所在。现在这个雾霾，昨天的参考标题，《人民日报》在报道什么呢？在报道美国、欧洲这些西方国家在如何生产。
First of all, I would like to thank you for allowing us to sit in your class, and it was a wonderful experience for us coming from America, from New York, a group of 11 students here, or 10 students this morning, and to be present for this very important topic of world politics and diplomacy.
他说：“那个今天非常感谢您让我们在这里能上这节课，然后呢是一种非常好的一个经历，然后呢说我们学到了很多知识，非常感谢。”
You earlier referring to the time of the Cultural Revolution, you identified that a lot of description of that diplomacy at that time was crazy, and you also said that you consider crazy because it is not. They use the term crazy because it's not properly researched. Now, given the current climate in the world, there is so much chaos, so much confusion. The current situation also could be called crazy because no country is kind of knows directly what direction to go, because there is so much unpredictability. Everything is unpredictable. We don't know what the United States is going to do. We don't know what will come out of Europe. We don't know what will happen in the Asian countries. So there is so much unpredictability. So how do we see diplomacy in this kind of chaotic situation?
他的意思是说，在60年代，就我们中国文化大革命的时候，您说这个是一个很疯狂的时期，但是您也提到了，就是说我们这个疯狂是因为很多人没有就是很深入的研究。那您现在对于中国，不是中国，就世界上的这种现在，比如说欧洲啊，我们经历一些很大的变化，您对现在这种中国的外交有什么新的看法？您觉得现在这个我们的外交还是那种很疯狂的状态吗？
没有，他可能当时可能是他有一个误解，就是其实中国人从来没有疯狂，就中国他的这种疯狂是主要是一些中国的那些依附性的那种学者，迎合了西方学者对中国的那种蔑视，就把中国描绘成一种疯狂。实际上，中国的任何的这种非理性的表现，都是有它的内在的政治逻辑的。就是中国的知识生产和学术研究，必须从这些基本的事实当中找到中国人自己的逻辑，找到这种逻辑之后，来证明中国人有他自己的理性，只不过是这些理性在那些政治过程当中消失了，才能找回到中国的理性，同时也要为中国人找到尊严。中国人不是一不可理喻的疯子啊！如果不是这样的话，就会永远被这个外部世界认为是一个不可理喻的地方。
Policy done by the citizens, when the citizens on their own, without the government finance or anything, citizens on their own of any country, they travel around the world. They carry their culture, they change their culture in return. And so doesn't that have a diplomatic value?
就是说，虽然说那个外交主要是由就是国家层面上，但是还是有很多就是私人就是公民的这种，因为我们出国了以后，我们也是带着我们自己的文化，然后他们美国人在跟我们接触的时候也会了解一些中国的文化，所以就您觉得这是不是也是有一定的外交的价值在里面？
本身这个外交就从美国的外交概念，美国人在战后他们提出了这种国际传播的概念、公共外交的概念。包括现在在日本有一种公民外交的概念，啊，这些概念它是这个在战后这种国家之间的这种外交，已经和这种所谓的民意民主政治都已经联系起来了，
是不是一个好的趋势，可以去解决你说的这个知识生产的问题？他说，因为像一些发达国家，美国、欧洲这些国家当中，就有很多其他国家的人想这样去做。现在同样的事情发生在中国，他说这是一个好的趋势，可以去解决你刚才说的这个中国缺少自己知识生产的问题。他说很多国家其他的人就是会移民到中国来，去提高他们自己的生活水平，就像很多人他们去移民到美国、去欧洲一样的。所以他认为，他说是不是因为就可以说基于这些现象来说，中国的这个外交政策它是有效的，就现在的这个外交政策是有效的，才造成这些好的越来越多的人想在中国生活。我说的这个有关系吗？
对于外国人在中国的生活来讲，它更多的是一种经济的机会。我们如果看这个最近几年，在韩国的报纸上，甚至都写到社论里边。他说什么呢？他说这个雾霾影响到了韩国，应该向中国要求赔偿。他们现在他说外交官都不愿意到中国来，他们说外交官就是他们的外交官都不愿意到中国来。他们都把这些社论把这些报纸上的言论都办成中国，他们都有中国的网站，在中国传播。那我不知道哪一个是更加主流的一个事实，是越来越多的像你所在的国家人到中国来呢，还是连外交官都不愿意到中国来呢？哪个是事实？我觉得这个首先要把这些事实告诉你。
这就传播当中的权利问题。在中国的情况呢，目前是这个样子。无论是对什么媒体，我们的政府都是控制。对控制的原因呢，就是 我们在这个世界范围内这个文化意识形态方面属于弱势，你可以想到。
And now let's talk about a big story about Chinese people, Chinese urbanization and migration in China. And this is the main structure of my lecture. First, I will give you a big background about people's moving. That is Chinese great economic transformation, urbanization.
Hainan, and Asia's largest cruise terminal, is currently being constructed here in Sanya on the artificial island of Phoenix Island, just off Sanya Bay. For those of you who like to enjoy a refined yachting holiday, Hainan certainly won't disappoint. Hainan has advanced yachting facilities capable of stationing and servicing yachts, and yachts are also available here for rent. Hainan provides a large range of water-related activities from jet ski.
I know other Southeastern countries in Asia have problems with sex tourism, like Cambodia, Vietnam, all Philippines. Is this prevalent in Sanya? And if there is there anything that's being done to combat this?
Well,
I don't have a problem. Sorry.
Well, would you like to answer the question?
Well, I probably don't know much to hear about.
No, but it's actually not a problem in Sanya or even in China, because it's very tightly controlled. I don't know whether you've heard of a place called Dongguan in Guangdong province.
Yeah.
That's a place. That's a place used to be famous or well known for its sex tourism, but after cracking down by the government, it just disappeared.
Right.
So.
Or it's gone underground.
No, it's disappeared. And
moved to Huizhou.
Yeah, I was going to say moved to a different place with the yeah. It's like in Beijing, they're still doing it. Just the other day they were.
No, but it's not in the sense of sex tourism like in Thailand or in South
Actually,
Asia.
that doesn't exist here, quite frankly. I mean, yes, prostitution say exists and stuff
There
like that.
is prostitution as one of the oldest forms of trade. I mean, it's always going to be there, but it's not an industry.
It doesn't attract people, say, from Europe or North America or whatever, in order to go and mistreat people or anything. That doesn't happen. Or not that I know. I don't think so, because it's difficult to get visas and stuff for China. It's like, and actually it's quite expensive here now, so I don't think it would be an attractive destination. You better bid for that. Anyway, enough on that.
Space. Time and space. So, if you stay in my small village, you never take a bus, you never fly by air.
So since since like the film showed, a lot of people are going back home. Do you think China's in the cities is going to implement sexual policies to slow down the move from city to back to rural?
Yeah, this is a part of not logic.
Yeah.
The government, what government is not.
Okay, that's enough, bro. You can't tell me you guys went to China to just find some local food and the transportation system and also stay in the classroom all the day, right?
No, of course not. A large portion of the learning was obviously done outside the classroom. We did this by visiting a lot of museums and Chinese landmarks.
You had to go to Tiananmen Square, which is the chairman's picture on that building.
Definitely, like that was like the first on the list. But we also entered Zhujingshan, which is the Forbidden City.
Yeah, sounds amazing. Tell me more.
The Forbidden City is the everyday palace, pretty much, for the emperor. But we also didn't just go to his everyday home. We went to the summer retreat, the summer palace. And even though it was cold there, it was beautiful, and I couldn't imagine what it would look like in the summertime.
Exactly. So I remember. So when we talk about China, have you get any chance to take the tour and for some mysterious things?
Oh, we went to the Ming tombs, which is where the emperors from the Ming dynasty took their final rest, and I thought it was very, very interesting how every culture perceives death in a different way.
Yeah,
so
we have same. And when the people mentioned China, what's the first image in your mind?
Of course, Chang'e, which the Great Wall. I think it's on everybody's go-to list when they go to Beijing. But it was also very, very fun because it was snowing, and we got to sled down the Great Wall. Which it was awesome. It was fun.
And you guys went there by the January, right?
Yeah, January.
Is it kind of cold?
Freezing.
Yeah.
Freezing. So we spent 6 days in Beijing, and after that we traveled to the island of Hainan, which is off the southern coast of China, and we stayed in the city of Sanya.
Oh, sounds amazing. It's a kind of that city is the Miami of China.
That's what I hear. But St. John's University and Sanya University collaborated together and created a great learning experience. It was absolutely one of a kind. But I mean, enough of this. Let's take a look at this so we can check it out.
Let's show up. Yeah.
In 1960, during the Cultural Revolution. During the Cultural Revolution, they burned those palaces, and they pull out the bodies of the kings, of the emperors, and burned them also. This was done in the 60s under Chairman Mao. But Chairman Mao didn't tell them to go and burn it, but things got out of control, and so he had no control basically. Yeah. Now similar things. No, just the people. Citizens. Similar thing is happening today in the Middle East. The ICs are destroying the whole of Syria, Damascus, Aleppo, then Negros, all those places which were in 2,000 years ago, they were the centers of the human civilization. So Palmyra is a good example what they're doing there. So it is sad, the madness of people. They just go and destroy. And that is happening today with all the knowledge that people have. It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So.
To introduce something, like as I mentioned, there are 13 tombs in this area, but they only opened 3. So others are protected by the government. And this one is special for the underground palace. And the other one we will not visit is on the ground, on the surface of the palace. But they were destroyed by the Red Guard, and so they rebuilt it. We will not visit because we will visit other places like the same building. So we finish it here and then go to the Great Wall next.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you. Let's go. 谢谢。
Yeah.
Okay. So the Great Wall is one of the World Heritage, and it's about the whole distance is about 13,000 miles. Yeah. So only in Beijing, this area, we have like 5 or 6 entrances of the wall. Different entrance. The area of the Great Wall has different characteristics. Like they have the Great Wall are under the water. So we see this is the most famous one in Beijing, this area. But others can have other like how do I say? Others have
other characteristics.
Yeah, other characteristics. And you see, this is called the smoke tower. So during the war, people can like put fires in the smoke tower. And so that tower, they see these towers have fire, so they put fires on. So you can like transfer the information through the Great Wall using the smoke towers.
Okay, a little bit. Okay,
and
just explanation of this. Why this is this wall is not unique to Beijing. Throughout the history, human beings have built walls. You go to Rome, there are walls. You go to any old civilization, you'll find walls, and you begin to ask why walls. Well, Trump was not there at that time, but we built walls for 2 reasons. One, for security, other one for commerce. Walls were good, they have gates to control revenue. Taxes coming in, business going in out, so you could charge. Otherwise, you could not control. So it was a revenue and security. Anywhere you go, there are fortresses and forts built, and this is one of the longest one that has been built. Others are, anybody been to Rome?
Yeah.
Okay, right in front of the Vatican, you will see the big wall going on. But that wall was used for the purpose of the water as well. Now, she made an interesting observation about the fire communication. Fire communication was an earliest device for long-distance communication, which was developed for the purposes of the military. It was developed by the Greeks. The Greeks are the one who came up with this idea of to send remote signals. So they masterminded what kind of wood, what kind of material to burn, and what kind of smoke it would give. So different types, and say, okay, if it's a dark smoke, you do this means this. Military has to launch. It's a light smoke, this means this. So smoke has always been used as a long distance communication at the same time.
I choose the Pope.
Yeah, exactly. One of the remnants of that is till today in the Vatican, when the Pope is chosen, they said the dark smoke, white smoke, signaling different types of communication. So using fire, high altitudes, and there, okay, the other fellow getting signal, that was always a way of communication. So there is just a little background about just the general principles of the war. Think of it. People live here. Now this is, you go to Rome, you've been to Rome, right? You see those buildings are just 2-story high, and you ask why. People who lived upstairs, they had the money. People who live downstairs, they will do the bathroom stuff in a basin and throw it downstairs. And so that's how, now see also, time passed by, they developed public restrooms. Roman Forum was a public restroom as well. You can still see when you go to Roman Forum, those water coming. People would sit there, wash themselves, and it was a kind of a, believe it or not, was a communal activity.
Really?
Yeah, the notion that it was private has come into society very late. You go to India, it still is a communal activity. You go to Pakistan, communal activity. The using bathroom was not seen as like that. Using bathroom was not seen as, oh, it smells dirty. Because smell we cultivate over the period of time. We get used to it, and then now we say, oh, it's a bad smell. But if you grow up in that smell, it's normal. So that is how this is, kind of moved. Only when the West discovered sanitary problems with the bathroom issues, then there was a full force to separate bathroom from the public activity. That was the main reason why sanitation, medical reasons came about. So here's a good example for us to see how an old city is trying to live in modern times.
We're at Zhuhai. What's your your glasses, but the glasses and your
Hat.
hat off. Take it off. No. Yours fine, but the sunglasses. Yeah. Yes. So then the hat. Yeah. And you face this direction to the temple. And you put the incense
Over your head.
Yeah. And you close your eyes to, say
Make the wish.
for your prayer, like whatever you wish. And then you follow face this direction.
Professor, 2 hands.
3 times, and this direction 3 times, this direction 3 times, and this direction 3 times. That's it. And go there to kneel down. But that's I think if you don't want to, you may not do. But yeah, for the incense is
3. 3 is fine.
so it's just simple.
Oh, all the way there. How do we get there?
Walk.
Okay.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yo, I leave. Do everybody leave? Yeah, I leave at midnight. What time do you get a hotel?
And they have a dormitory, but only for they have in fact I do not know until that day I found out that they have also dormitory school.
You will have the free lectures in this classroom. 这个开不了，
开2个开给。
I mean, we are my swag.
这是灯啊。
哇哦。
好。完了，这个都明白吗？这个就老师打开就是讲台啊。
明天我们学校的老师授课，他们听就行，
他们就行啊。好了，那就知道了就行。
他能看一下吗？
St. John needs that.
St. John's needs to upgrade.
May I take just a picture? And show to IT people.
Yes. 这个是那个
Projector. Yeah.
拍个照啊。好。
Yeah, I'm going to
trip.
Wow, it looks very amazing and incredible. So tell me, Alejandro, what you learn from China in this trip?
Well, I definitely learned a lot of new things. But one thing that stood out the most was how welcoming and hospitable were the Chinese. Leaving from Mexico, I thought that we were the most hospitable people. But going on the trip, I realized I was wrong about this. That the Chinese take this to the next level. Another thing was that well, before going on the trip, I've heard a few negative stereotypes of China.
Really? Like what?
Some of these were that like the food was not clean, the people were not as nice. But once I went there and I experienced this, I realized it was all wrong.
Well, as a Chinese student, I really appreciate you notice that.
Yeah. It's definitely something everyone should experience one-on-one before creating any prejudgment.
Okay. So in this trip, have you made any trouble or like some small issues?
There was one, but let's just say the toilets require a different technique.
Okay, now I see.
But let's see what our students Moju and Julia Keeman and our professor Dr. Montero have to say about the trip.
Okay, let's see.
The feeling of China, I think you have to differentiate between the feeling of Beijing and Sanya. In Beijing, everything was very fast and modern and dynamic, and also very inclusive, like I described earlier. But in Sanya, everything was a lot more slowed down, relaxing, focused more on tourism and vacation. And this, of course, the weather makes a huge difference. The climate, beach and sun versus ice, cold weather, and darkness and smog. So that made a huge difference in the feeling. But all in all, I'd say the feeling of China is a very positive one. It was a wonderful experience, and when I look back to it, it was definitely a great trip, and I would always do it again.
The pollution. You know, I have never imagined that the air quality of capital Beijing is so terrible. It's even worse than what I saw in social medias, especially when you actually live in that city. Now, the first day we arrived in the airport, I got choked by the haze or smoke something inside the airport. And I cannot see any view outside the window since the white smoke covered almost everything. We spent like 6 days in Beijing, and we have to wear masks while we went out. At night, when I took it off the mask, I found the white surface of the mask has turned into dark. So I was so shocked. I was also very worried about the health condition that people who live in the city have a long time exposed to the haze. I really wish our government would take some effective actions and establish relative policies to prevent the further pollution. Otherwise, the prosperous growth of GDP seems insignificant in front of this polluted environment.
Was China any different than what you initially expected? Yes, China I found very different the way it was presented to us in Western media. China is a vibrant society, a very modern society where people live the modern life. The generosity and hospitality of the people has been so impressive because the way it was presented to us for all these years by the Western media, it was like a caricature that they have made, as if kind of a scary place where everything is so regimented, nobody can laugh or nobody can have fun, that kind of place. And so in that way, yes, it is very different. Another thing about China is I find its infrastructure is so efficient and so forward that I think in many ways other countries, developed countries, could learn something. Its roads, its traffic organization by and large, its the traffic system is very advanced, it's very efficient, and that was also very impressive, and that makes the country quite forward-looking. Also, what I found interesting that even today, when we were in the rainforest, in the middle of the rainforest, we have Wi-Fi, and very efficient and effective Wi-Fi that without any hiccups, we could send WeChat messages all over. So in that sense, yes, I found China very different than what I've expected.
Also thought was really impressive about the experience in China was that everyone always used WeChat for basically everything. So for example, when we took taxis together, they always paid with WeChat, and our Chinese students always communicated with WeChat. They sent voice messages and made video calls with it, and shared their location, sent directions to get to a location on WeChat, and I think they paid almost everything through the app. And WeChat also, by the way, has the same functions that Facebook has with the wall. So under Discovery, I think, or Discovery, you can share moments with others. So we could also always communicate through our China WeChat group and share moments together. And I thought that was very impressive because that's not the case in the US. In the US, they neither use WeChat nor do they use WhatsApp much. And in Europe, I'm used to using WhatsApp, but in the US, they just text, so they miss out on a lot of modern new possibilities, I think.
You know, in the first place, you can see the WeChat actually copied the WhatsApp.
Really?
Yeah, we copied other things. That's the whole thing, the Chinese high technology.
Yeah.
And
that's also what I wanted to say. Remember when I said in the beginning that it reminded me of Germany more than the US? I wanted to say that, first of all, because of WeChat, and second, because of the whole traffic system, like the traffic signs, I'm pretty sure they're copied from Germany because it's the same signs, the same colors and everything. So I was like, this is so weird because in the US everything's different and here everything's the same.
Yeah.
Let's move to the bright side. The most impressive thing, right? Yeah. The most impressive thing in my mind is that the interaction with different type of people. People, especially the younger generations in China, I can feel they are becoming more and more internationalized and more open-minded towards new things. I also can feel the inner part of their heart. I can feel the passion of the seeking the world and the discipline of working hard. Their desire to be a better man who always prepare for facing various challenges among the world.
China, I found very welcoming country. From the people's side, wherever you go, everyone tries to be helpful. And what surprised me is that other than Chinese, very little other languages are spoken. And even the signs are in Chinese almost everywhere. There are very few places you'll find some English translation. But it looks like it caters primarily to its own population wherever you go. And secondarily, it caters to whoever may come from outside, from other countries. So language becomes quite of a barrier. And even for day-to-day simple ordinary transactions, you go to a restaurant, if you don't know the Chinese, you are pretty lost in terms of even ordering basic food and doing the basic shopping as well. And but what is most impressive is the kindness, the generosity of people. People who are around, they always respectful of you and very kind, and whichever way they want to be helpful, whichever way they can.
Just say it.
Even though I knew the word ni hao, and I used to say that word ni hao ma for a long time because one of my students have taught me that about 20 some years ago, and I've used that very frequently. But for the first time I understood the depth of the word, depth of the meaning, what how means good. Good is not just the way we understand probably in English speaking world, but it is how deeply the goodness is rooted in God. And as much as we think in the West China as a godless country, as a atheistic country. The depth of God, the depth of religion is so rooted in their way of thinking, in their calligraphy, in their way of understanding themselves, understanding the world is fascinating.
But yes, I will definitely be coming back to visit once again.
Which city you want to go?
I thought about going to Hong Kong, Shanghai. I heard Chengdu is really nice also.
Yeah, Chengdu it is. Yeah.
I will definitely see you then.
Okay, cool.
But before we go, I want to thank the faculty of St. John's University, the Sanya University, our Professor Dr. Montero, and our classmates that without everyone coming together, this could have not been possible. So thank you guys. See you guys. 谢谢，下一节。
See ya.
Yes, Sanya University, and this will most probably will be a good beginning for a wonderful collaboration in the years to come. And I'm very grateful to Vice President Zoe, and particularly I'm grateful to Nana for putting the effort to make everything possible and make our stay here very comfortable. So I would like to invite Sarah again to say a few words, and then Julia, and then Zita.
Victorious we'll show our might, old St. John's, our dear St. John's. From fervent hearts we breathe our prayer, old St. John's, our dear St. John's.
我才会逼自己离开。你说我说多难看，我根本不想分开，为什么还要我用微笑来带过？为什么这种天分，包容你也接受它，不用担心的太多，我会一直好好过。
Next one, Josie. Okay, the last one, Juliet.
So you were telling me that. So you were telling me that you guys.